And catch up. Like, why? What is taking you guys so long to learn? Like that is
This chairman, who's very sexy, by the way, whose anger is a turn on.
like George, like Black Lives Matters was such a scam, you know. And
I think white people have always been scared
step
of.
outside and start fucking with the algorithm, then that's where we start actually making the world tilt.
QuikTok.
White people have a zero-sum game mentality. We think if someone is getting something, we're losing it. We don't think that we can all benefit together. The reason for that is colonization, colonialism, imperialism. In America, we established a racial hierarchy in order to exploit labor and land. You establish a racial hierarchy. It enabled a bunch of poor people from Europe to come here and have a new life and feel superior to the brown and Black folks who were already here. That mentality is in our heads still. It's hard not to feel that way. Right now, white supremacy is trying to bring back that racial hierarchy that was slowly being pushed down. There was not equality yet. DEI initiatives, things like that, were finally leveling the playing field a little bit. Suddenly, mediocre white people no longer get to feel superior. Instead, they're mad. That system worked because people's needs were still kind of met. The white poor people might have been poor, but they were taken care of and they got to feel superior to the brown people. If brown and Black people are brought up to the same level as white people, suddenly those poor white people can't feel superior anymore, and they are hurting financially.
What do you think about what she was saying?
So the first part that I wanted to ask you was to clarify what imperialism is for you. What does that mean to you? Can you describe imperialism?
Imperialism to me is the ruling class. So we know better than you do. So we are in charge of all things. Let them eat cake type of mentality. We know better than you. We are learned men who are wizened, and you are not as educated. You are not as bright. You don't even have the mind capacity to learn what we have learned. And so we're the keeper of all information, and we're the keeper of banks, and we're the keeper of everything. You work for us, basically.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that she's saying. She's not saying anything that's new. I think white people have always been scared of everybody else coming in and taking
what they took,
asking for their own shit back.
Yeah, right. Sure. And then that freaks out white people.
For sure. I mean, I don't think he said anything that was too out of pocket or right or wrong.
Yeah, so the clip kind of bothered me when I listened to it. I listened to the whole thing, just drumming my fingers. I was just like, okay, catch up. Like, why? What is taking you guys so long to learn? Like, that is so basic. What she's missing, in my opinion, is that the group she represents, like white liberal women or whatever, also get out there and march and scream and go crazy over saving DEI, which didn't really benefit anyone, but they won't stand for reparations, say, the one thing that all Black people agree on, basically, but they'll never get up and do that because I think it's the same mentality.
DEI is free.
Right?
Let them put their money where their mouth is.
And also, aren't they a part of the DEI, right? White women benefit from civil rights and all that stuff. Like, they're the biggest beneficiary, in fact. So you're just fighting for your own shit, basically. And she's missing, like, and all of these, like, white liberal women, I'll say, they're the biggest gentrifiers of Black neighborhoods and coming in the name of social justice, though, right? But they got to have a Starbucks. And so there's like, she's missing so much that I'm just like, oh God, it seems like such a long road for y'all. They're so content ending Aunt Jemima, you know, the Aunt Jemima thing. They got rid of Aunt Jemima. They got rid of Dr. Seuss. They start tumbling all these statues and shit everywhere. And they can sleep well at night. Nobody asked for that. Like, nobody asked for that.
It always trips me out when they come, especially online, they act like they're saying some big, like she ain't saying nothing.
She looks like she's having a revelation.
She's having a revelation because if you're a white woman, I don't know that she's a white woman. She could be a Latina. I don't know. What I'm saying is it's never affected you personally. it is an epiphany. Like you said, you're benefiting from everything that's happening around you. So first saying that, I'm like, okay, we're way beyond that. She's talking like we're in the 70s.
Right. Yeah, we already read that book. We've seen the end of it and everything. What's a trip, though, but if you think about it, is the ICE agent who shot the white woman, that was definitely out of bounds. That's not typically what happens during the George Floyd protests. They were standing on the front line because they're like, you're not touching Black people, you're not going to shoot people and all this stuff.
I didn't even know ICE until that incident. I didn't know ICE was allowed to shoot people.
They used to not be.
That was new to me. I was like, wait, what did I miss?
Right.
Well, because not only did I think ICE wasn't allowed to shoot people, but I didn't know that ICE had no idea about any of the laws, right? Because if that was in your house and somebody had their back turned and you shot them, right, you would be guilty. You wouldn't, just because it's your home.
Yeah, right.
You wouldn't be able to say it was self-defense if they turned around and they're going in the opposite direction. So now I'm confused.
Black people get shot with their hands up all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
The white lady was saying a minute ago.
She's like, I know the thing about George Floyd too, and this isn't just to bag on white liberals or whatever, but there's this willful ignorance around everything during George Floyd. Seeing them get so mad because they told you to stop shooting Black people and you kept shooting. Even during the protests, people were getting shot and they were like, but we said stop. They were flabbergasted that their needs weren't being met. Their demands. They were just like, what is going on? And so that's part of what made them so angry. It's such a layered scenario because Black Lives Matters was such a scam, and
did that whole organization matter? I don't know what they were.
No, it's such a psyop. Like, you call it Black Lives Matter because, of course, Black Lives Matter, but they commercialized it and cheapened it, for lack of a better word. So I think that messed up a lot of them too. So they're going to have a come to Jesus moment where it's like they have to face reality, not what's being fed to them, scripted for them, or given to them, like there's going to have to be a moment where
this is why I'm loving watching all these, which I think Trump got involved with Chairman Birdsong today and sent some troops to Minnesota to get him because he's pissed off. However, it's crazy because like Black Lives Matter, they were one of the companies that turned everything into a trend instead of a movement. Exactly. So like all of this stuff that should have been a movement ended up just being a t-shirt, a hashtag. Mm-hmm. It wasn't helping anybody. Exactly. And then,
well, it was helping them. They got a lot of money.
It wasn't helping the people they were
attending. Yeah.
But like this dude, this chairman, who's very sexy, by the way, whose anger is a turn on. I love this.
So I just can't brandish it. I don't care about you being nervous. It's the law. The law is my right. It's my right. I could cradle it like a baby if I want to. That's the law.
There's clearly no threat here.
Do that. You can't do nothing.
We got all these guns and we're the problem.
I'm not asking.
All these guns, but we're the problem here, right? That don't make sense.
Did I disarm you? No. You can't legally disarm me. You cannot legally disarm me. No, you can't.
Articulate.
No, you can try to illegally.
Weapon, right? That's
Is he the one that stands in the police and he'll come out there and?
Oh yeah.
That's the original.
It's what's necessary. Like it's the only way things are going to get done. But because they also have a
step outside and start fucking with the algorithm, then that's where we start actually making the world tilt in a
link where, hey, hit us up and donate so that we can create more spaces like this. They're starting food pantries.
The Black Panthers used to do with a bigger platform so that they can do outreach. I don't mind donating to stuff like that. It's hard for some people. Like they get, is this real or is this a commercial? But people have to realize that there's no way for anyone to eat. If you want people to walk off of these jobs and be like, I'm not working for ICE or I'm not working for whatever, then we have to take care of each other. Like that's just what has to happen. Mm-hmm. So he said, Trump sent, he's going to send, he did.
Man. I don't know if he sent troops, cops. I don't know who he sent.
I saw something where he sent troops out there. He's looking for an excuse.
There's only 4 of them. There's the chairman.
You know how it is, though. The Black Messiah type
man, and like 2 other ones. And I'm like, you guys sent some troops for 4 men.
It's like this zero tolerance thing that's insane. I don't flabbergast easy, but this blew my mind.
Flabbergast ever.
Right. I'm just like, of course they're like that. Of course this happened, but this actually flabbergasted me. I'm disappointed in myself because, of course, but this motherfucker, man, hold on.
People have grown less and less intelligent. They're like, My flabbers have been gasted lately.
People have gotten the audacity and the blatancy of everything foul is mind-boggling sometimes. So I saw this. I don't even watch the news ever. So maybe this is what the news do these days. I didn't know. You don't watch, right? The news.
I don't own a television. Oh, that's homegirl from the Young Turk. I love her.
Yeah, I love her too. She's setting the bar. I'll say that.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm not going to buy this argument that like these young girls were raped by what? By what? That did they rape themselves? No, they got raped by people who are in powerful positions, and I want to know how many of those individuals are currently serving in our government in some role or the other.
American awake for 18 hours a day. How many minutes do you think they spend worrying about this stuff? Maybe they were raped, maybe they weren't. This is not what American families give a damn about.
Just to be clear,
they just don't.
We do know that there were victims, so that's not speculative.
Him and his allies promised their base, we are going to deliver the Epstein client list. It's going to take down all of your Democratic enemies.
Bring it.
Yeah, well, yes, bring it. Donald,
Poop.
Please. Donald,
Nobody gives a poop.
You don't give a poop, okay? Other people do, including people like me who want justice, and I want to know how many of those people are in our government.
I don't know about poop about this. Epstein's still dead tonight. Still dead. All the people that have been really hurt by this actually were caught lying in a scandal, including a member of the royal family was stripped of his titles, all that.
Say that again? All the people that were really hurt?
Yeah.
The people that were really hurt are the women, Kevin.
Yeah, and I'm
the young girls.
I don't work with me on this, okay?
Well, makes sense though. Please.
No, I'm going to help you so much tonight. So at the end of the day, any of you cared about the victims, you wouldn't drag these women who are in childbearing years now, some of them having children, back into the limelight, back into the same story to expose them again to this hideous outcome because these guys.
If you don't,
so you want to do that?
Do it to somebody else.
Them.
They could be doing it to somebody else.
They
right
don't
now,
want
as
you
we
to
sit here
help
on
them
TV.
anymore. They want them.
How do you know that? What are you basing
I know
that
with
on?
certainty they'd rather
You've
live out
spoken
their
to the
lives
victims
than
who
keep
said
being
they
brought
don't
back
want justice
talking
brought
about
forth.
Epstein. You really think they want that now?
You're speaking
They're
on
done with
behalf
it.
of women, saying that you've personally spoken to victims who said they do
I
not
have
want
spoken
justice
to
pursued.
no one. I'm just being
Okay,
pragmatic.
so then that is an
You're
irresponsible
dragging out
statement.
women.
You have no idea what these young
Don't you
women
think if it
want.
was you'd rather get on with your life? Aren't you
No,
done
if
with
it
this?
were me, I
You
would
wanna
want
keep-
justice pursued.
Here's who should be.
Money? What do you want?
Here's who should get on with his life.
The truth is out. There's a prisoner and there's a dead guy. That's the truth.
I think these clips from Kevin O'Leary, among many others, are so illuminating to the massive amounts of fear that the people with all the wealth are feeling right now, because what happens when people stop looking to the left and right and arguing over fabricated issues that mean nothing, and they start looking up and asking, who is pissing on my head? These people don't want it for you to start saying, hey, groceries and rent and car insurance and health insurance and everything else is so expensive. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell, who was the mastermind of the sex trafficking ring that Epstein was a part of, why is she getting custom meals in prison? Why is she being allowed to play with a fucking puppy? Why is she allegedly using the warden as her personal secretary? She have her own personal reception area with snacks and drinks where she can have visitors come see her. Why is this news that broke this week happening? She, as of this week, is asking for her 20-year sentence to be commuted. Very clear when I say this. This was the mastermind of the operation, and her father is the key to every single thing we are seeing right now. Robert Maxwell and his ties to intelligence. He was a spy who worked with Russia, the United States, Great Britain, and Israel. One of the most famous spies in the history of the world, and when he died, he was given a state funeral. This man and this woman are the key to so much of this. Jeff Epstein was essentially a blow-up doll, right, to maintain relationships, to kind of, be in the boys' club and get leverage on all these people. He was a tool that she used. Does not make him any less evil.
That fool, Kevin. Oh my God. He said, I'm going to help you out right now. Like, I'm going to be helping you a lot today. Like, what in his brain? People that use language like they are of childbearing age, that's the equivalence to the,
he was speaking in Raider.
Exactly.
He was speaking in raping, and it was very clear. Bilingual.
He's like one of the, right. And he was speaking. Another thing that the person presenting it said was that it's a unifier. You would think so, but if you spend any time on X, these fools, because here's the thing, I can say this from a place of I won't say equanimity, like I'm not like floating above and like so peace and zen and I'm not a monk, but I was able to look at Trump and be like, maybe this dude can do some good for this country because, Joe Biden was asleep and Kamala doesn't know. That was just so clear to me that She was just being selected because Joe Biden was about to fall asleep on live TV. So I was like, well, maybe Trump can freaking just come in and make some change. Then I can also step back and be like, this fool is showing his whole ass. He is clearly way more involved in Epstein. I can look at both sides and be, Joe Biden also had his issues with young people, and his daughter's diary is bananas. He should be arrested immediately. But I can also say, I just feel like you can be a patriot and still see the wrong that your dude is doing. Like, that doesn't even have to be your dude.
But it's not about them seeing wrong, right? You have to understand they dumbed down intelligence so much that their brains can't even it's not even about them defending Trump anymore. They literally cannot have conversations that can't be disagreed with. Everybody's on the internet trying to be funny, correct, or they're not thinking logically. We're not dealing with logical people. So it never shocks me when anyone defends Trump. Ever. I can't even get upset. I remember when he first got into presidency, I was hooting and hollering at everybody. Now I'm just like, I'm not arguing with you guys because you're not arguing logic.
There's no, yeah, it's like, it's,
So,
I just wonder, what do we do with that?
Even in the clip that you just showed me, the fact that they think that all this Epstein stuff is not important, and her dad, he wasn't just a spy, right? Her dad,
he was
one of the major publishers who was putting
exactly
out books for our children to learn, and I think it was specifically science books or whatever. All
McGraw-Hill, all the school books,
This wasn't just about the girls on the island. Basically, every one of our children, all of us who read those books, we were all indoctrinated.
Not just read, are reading. They are still in the schools. Those are still in the schools. The McGraw-Hill school books.
So that's the part that's tripping me. The people who were on the island weren't the only victims. Everybody who's ever been indoctrinated by this man was a victim.
Yeah.
I can't argue with them. They cannot see it.
They can't see it. But this woman brought up a good point, because I believe that our school system sucks. I believe our education sucks. There is a dumbing down of America that's been happening probably since Maxwell got those books approved for the Department of Education.
I just want to correct this because I don't know if it was McGraw. I don't know if those were the books. I thought it was Pergamon Press.
Oh, it turned into McGraw-Hill.
Okay, I don't want to.
The only reason I know that is because my mom used to be an editor for McGraw-Hill. And so I was like, oh, I know the name of that.
That's crazy.
That's great. He was definitely Mossad. Her father was definitely Mossad, but he was a double agent. There's some interesting theories around that, and Trump as well. I haven't read the Epstein files because I feel like I've been screaming about this for 8 years now. And it's like people are just starting to come around. I don't think there's a list. I don't think there's here's who fucked the kids. Like, this is not going to be
redacted. Like,
everything that's redacted.
I did look at some of it, and I looked at, of course, I was TikTok and everybody who's posting the actual file. And I mean, it's just black lines.
That is, and it's like the implication behind that alone should piss everyone off, because it's like, why are you redacting the names of these people? It's so crazy. I'll tell you this is just a little tip in the tool, is that I started a subreddit called Kids Too, because everybody's talking about Me Too and the women. And then when it came to kids, everyone was quiet. So I was like, well, let's have a place. And this is when Reddit was getting rid of all the stuff that was controversial, but then they had to fall back. So my subreddit's been up for the whole time. It maybe had like 200 people, and I'd have like 1,000 visitors a week. Since the Epstein files dropped, I've had like 11,000 visitors a week. People are dropping all their stories about people in power and agencies and nonprofits and all the stuff that are literally abusing children, because that's what they do. They get these jobs and start these organizations to abuse children, to get to children. All those separated kids from their parents, and where are the kids going? So what I was going to say is that Reddit is Reddit, and Reddit going to do what Reddit does. So people that are on my board, they created a database of the Epstein files that are searchable. You can put like judge, and then it'll show you all the files that include a judge. So that's one way to get through it, like in a less just mind-numbing way, where you're just like scrolling through tons of redacted papers. So they've done the work. So if we ever want, and anybody watching, if they ever want to go through it, find that database. It's a good job. Good job, Reddit.
You need to go to Onion or one of those.
You would think, but I don't think. I think that because the censorship came down so hard, they've actually loosened it to some extent. But obviously, they're surveilling us. Like, so anything you do online is being recorded, and easily with AI, like 2 seconds, So I did find that other clip, and this kind of leads to that. So actually, wonderful segue.
I'm infuriated because I didn't see that Young Turks episode where the gentleman that was talking about, why are we bringing this up? What was his name?
Kevin, I think his last name is it.
Infuriated at the thought that he thinks that women would rather just be at home forgetting about what happened to them.
Of childbearing age.
That's exactly why they should be speaking up even more now, because now they have children. And they were once children.
Daughters, probably daughters. And yeah, what are you fucking talking about, Kevin? And he looked so pompous doing it that he's like, I'm going to help you understand what's going on.
Oh, no, he was getting paid on the back end to shut everybody up as quickly as he could. That's what he was like.
And he didn't do a good job because what he said was so stupid and nobody's trying to hear that. When that woman that we watched the first time said, because the GOP is trying to da-da-da. It's not the GOP. It's literally the government. Both sides have their role and they disagree. I feel like it's like just two factions of elite powers. Just sometimes they argue, but at the end of the day, they're eating in the same rooms, locking the same revolving doors. They're not. One side pretends to be our friend and the other side doesn't. It's good cop, bad cop. So that's why the caption on here says Hillary Clinton's social media control is here. Like, Hillary Clinton was a cool person. She's not a cool person. She's not good. She did. And you saw that she just didn't do the Epstein. They got subpoenaed and she was just like, we're not going. Dude took the flight that we know of 27 times. Your husband was on that flight, but you're just not going.
Been there 27 times.
No, I don't want to talk about that. Okay, so yeah.
Am I being charged with a crime? Okay, so you're here to investigate a statement that I allegedly made on Facebook. If I admit that it's me or not, what does that mean? Not going to jail. Wonderful. Good afternoon. Without Jacob.
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You're recording me?
You can record on your.
How can I help you?
Make sure you take make sure.
Okay.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present.
Like I said, then I
This
want
is
to
freedom of speech. This is America, right?
All right. When I agree with you 100%, just trying to see that you, but when I talking to the right person, we want to go see who the right person
Okay,
is.
how can I help you?
This is saying that was made.
We're made of the guy could simply call it the wall Palestinian, but to shut down a theater for showing movies that are repeating and your community, and then even leave the room, you both related matter, wanting that you're all willful, some.
You don't know if it was you?
I'm not going to answer whether that's me.
Okay.
I'm not concerning you from the person who's told, or we're just trying to prevent somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Understood.
That guy didn't call for the wall Palestinian. That can probably affect somebody radical. That's all we're here to talk about. And we wanted to get your side before that posted. I would think to refrain from posting things like that. Something.
I appreciate your concern. I appreciate you coming out.
That's it.
I'm going to maintain my amendment rights to not answer the question about my parents. Thank you as well. Take care.
If the platforms where you tell them, they showed Hillary Clinton's clip after that, which I might add later. Leave my door. Is that what you're doing?
To tell me that I'm not allowed to say the man who's calling for the death of children in Palestine?
And also, they're not even saying, they're saying it, but they're not saying it. They're not saying you're not allowed to. Free speech is allowed, but we would rather you didn't do that. And we know where you live. That is such a threat to my house.
That's what they really wanted to do, is just pump fear into her, because you can't tell her not to.
For now.
Who knows how long that'll last.
Yeah, the shadow banning is crazy. The shadow banning is infuriating, but that's what they were doing up until last week. Now I guess they're knocking on doors. If the cops came to my door because of something I posted, I don't even know.
They've deleted my pages so much. And when I tell you, just for reposting a video, I didn't put an opinion on it, just reposted a video. But the fact, it's exactly what he said. We don't want somebody else to see us posting and get the idea that you're correct, basically.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
So I wonder how long we're going to be able to even have, like, because YouTube has gotten pretty strict with what you're able to say and show. And I'm like, it's just a matter of time before.
YouTube got more lenient because people were leaving, and then they got inundated with a ton of AI videos. So now they're coming back in and saying, we got to put some censorship in place because these AI videos are making it unfair for creators. It's always that. Like, it's always that. You know, it's problem, reaction, solution. So it's like, the problem is there's all these AI videos. The reaction is, hey, we can't make any money because all the AI videos. And then they're like, we have a solution. We'll censor. we'll do this. I'm not sure what states it's passed in yet, but they're trying to make it so that you have to show your ID before you get online. And it's like, you guys don't care about the kids. People have to be smarter so that they can think, oh, wait, they don't care about the kids. That's why the papers are all redacted. So obviously they're just trying to censor us and put guardrails in place so that
they don't care about the kids. ICE is just the new Epstein island. They brought the island to us now.
That's the part. And they're like,
we're just going to get all your kids, right?
And who knows? She could be running it. This is a total conspiracy there, but she could be totally running it from prison. Exactly. Like she got the warden in her pocket and stuff. That's so crazy. There is such a blatant disrespect and classism and just everything. So yeah, thought I'd share that with you. That's scary in a sense, right?
She's just like the new DeBlanco in there.
Right.
She's going to get what she wants. She's got to push herself on the outside. None of this shit is shocking.
I'm not shocked.
People are desensitized to other shit, like watching Palestinians get killed. It's beyond that for me. Like, I'm just desensitized to people even talking. I'm like, none of this is real. It's crazy.
It's like, unless you see the person, you're sitting there or you know them already, it's very hard to understand. These reactions could be like bot reactions to spark something else. There's just so many unreal things in the world. That is the goal, though, to find what's real here. I don't even believe like there's real cats on the internet anymore. If you could I said, I don't want you up here right now. He doesn't give a.
Speaking of ICE, they were doing these supermarket sweeps yesterday.
In LA.
The last 3 days. It was in like 7 states, but 7 cities in 7 states, and LA was one of them. And so what they were doing was going to grocery stores, specifically grocery stores, and stopping everyone. And if you didn't have your original ID on you or your children's original birth certificate, you were not allowed to show a picture. You're not allowed to pull something else and be like, here's the digital document. They were arresting people for not having citizenship.
In California.
Oh. If you weren't carrying your original documents on you, they were arresting everybody. They didn't care if you look Mexican.
Right.
Because they know that the world knows they're racially profiling. Now they've just expanded it to, we don't really care what race you are. We're going to take everything.
Right. I personally haven't seen any Ukrainians getting arrested.
Like what you look like.
They definitely do. They're just not allowed to say it because that's profiling. I found this other one. I haven't watched this yet, but let's watch this and see because I think this might fall in line with what we're talking about. It's a strange time to be in anything media related.
A rare search warrant at the home of a Washington Post reporter, seizing her cell phone, laptops, and other devices. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, members of the media expressing deep concern after the FBI took the rare step of going to the home of a Washington Post reporter and confiscating her phone and other electronic devices. After early morning FBI search at the residence of reporter Hannah Nathanson, the Post issuing an urgent message to the staff, quote, "This extraordinary aggressive action is deeply concerning and raises profound questions around the constitutional protections for our work." But tonight, DOJ officials pushing back, claiming that the search was necessary because the reporter had received classified information from a government contractor who was arrested last week for the unlawful retention of national defense information. Justice Department official telling ABC News at the time of his arrest, Aurelio Luis Perez Lugones was communicating with the Washington Post reporter on his mobile device, and in the chat, there was classified information. David, Washington Post leaders say they were told the newspaper and the reporter were not targets of the investigation. This action is so rare that a number of media experts are calling it an aggressive escalation and a threat to the free press.
That's a trip. Yeah, so that I feel like is all tied in, though. The reporter it's like this. I mean, okay, so everything I do, I would like to make it clear to anybody listening, watching, whatever. This is an act of rebellion, everything I do. And it's always been an act of rebellion since I was an infant. So I don't know how they're going to stop by everybody, but man, that's crazy. The weird thing about that is that I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the CIA actually owns the Washington Post. They pretty much own all major publications. So I don't know if that's a scare tactic and it's not real, or if that's how much overreach this Justice Department is having at this point.
Both.
Right.
Both of those things are the truth. They're monitoring people and they're trying to scare people. They still don't have laws in place where they can actually take you to jail for saying a certain thing, but they're putting them in place. Everything that they're doing right now is just a lead up to, I promise you, in 4 months, they're going to be able to arrest you for something you said.
Well, then they're going to have to rewrite the Constitution. That's what and they're working on that.
Are they not?
Right.
I mean, they've already not followed the Constitution, so why wouldn't they rewrite it? They're not abiding by the Constitution.
I was going to play something that I consider to be very wise, even though the woman is literally in real time having the epiphany of what's going on. And it's 5 minutes, so I probably won't play the whole thing. But tell me your thoughts on this woman and what she says. I agree 1,000%. And I wish that more people would come to this understanding. If we don't, it's always going to be what it is right now, which is a prison of duality on this here planet. And it's
prison duality.
Huh?
You said duality?
Yeah, prison of duality.
Oh, okay.
Earlier today, I watched this skit where this guy, Nick, is playing Morpheus and Neo. Morpheus is handing the 2 pills to Neo, to which Neo answers, I don't want a pill. In the skit, Morpheus kind of glitches and says to Neo, so what are you going to do? Are you just going to take all this information that I'm giving to you and return back into the Matrix? And Neo says, yeah, and I'll call it a 2-party system. This is when it hit me. And I want to piggyback on this metaphor because it might click for you too. The red pill and the blue pill are still being offered by the Matrix. 2 pills, 2 paths, 2 narratives, 2 belief systems. One of them may look like freedom, but it's just a more interesting cage. I'll call it the 2-party system. And that's how control works. You're always given at least 2 options, but never the option to step outside the choice. Politics does it. Religion does it. Spiritual movements do it. Awakening communities do it. They all say the exact same thing in different costumes. Believe this, and I'll show you the truth. But the moment you believe something, you've already stepped into a story. And it is through stories that the Matrix is keeping you engaged. It's been happening for millennia, and this is why Freemasonry, for example, doesn't care what God you believe in. That's why religions don't fight each other at the top. They only care that you believe, because belief keeps you inside the movie. Belief gives you identity. Belief gives you roles. Belief gives you something to defend.
The reason I'm stopping it, you get the point.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because you can't, it's gotten more obvious, even on a surface level. The political parties are red and blue. Crips and Bloods are red and blue. The police officers' lights are red and blue. They use these same symbols that click into your subconscious. You choose a side, the Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter. It's over and over. It's everywhere.
The ones that are in those systems, they don't even abide by those systems. So they're making everybody else choose, but they don't do money. They don't do investment the way they're, as you know, with the Epstein files, they do what they want to children. But if you do what you want to children, that's a problem. It's just, nothing applies to them.
Exactly.
That's when they brought up Freemason.
Yeah, it's a big club and you ain't in it. That's the thing. And
Freemason, I don't know. Do they go by the Lima Loud? I think they do.
They don't. Yeah, that's not do what thou will, but that's not what they follow. They have a system that you'll see in a lot of big corporations, and it's like a system of hierarchy. There's levels to this shit. Yeah. And so, there's levels, and then they say in the 33rd degree, they reveal who they're worshiping. Supposedly, it's not the God that you find in the Christian church. But that, again, like what she said, it doesn't matter. And I think one good takeaway from that, too, is it also doesn't matter if you believe what she's saying. It doesn't matter if you believe in magic, astronomy, astrology, or any of that stuff. The thing is that the people ruling this matrix do. And so you have to pay very close attention to it. There's so many things going on behind the scene that they don't allow it on the forefront of what we see or consider to be an everyday Like they just want us to go to work and feed into the matrix. Every time I see like, or I find myself falling into these arguments or these duality things, believe me, like there's times I'm going to school a motherfucker because you're stupid and you should know that if you're not too stupid to grasp that. Like I find myself, but when I find myself really getting agitated, I just remind myself that the system is like, thank you for playing. You're doing a great job. And I don't want to be that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a trip to me how all the esoterics are looked down on. Yet every single person that I've ever known that was a Freemason, and I used to go to a lodge, was actually being schooled by a Freemason at some point over in Long Beach at a church in Long Beach is where I met these people. And one of the things that I found crazy was that all of those people at the top, not just the Freemasons, but I'm talking about our presidents and all that, they definitely follow systems of numbers. They follow
astrology,
astrology, all of it. But yet here it's shunned, right?
It's like Miss Cleo and all that stuff. And there's a lot of weird stuff. We should talk about that, like Kate Middleton and her husband. What's his name? Prince Will? Is it Prince? Yeah. Will. So they both were born during blood moon eclipse. They both were they were born under those things. And like there's just so many. It's like you can't ignore what's in front of you. The thing about the internet is if you search for it, you will find it, no matter what it is, whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it. And that's kind of what she's saying. What do you believe in?
Good luck finding your tribe. Good luck finding the tribe of people with enough of a brain to not just listen to you, be open-minded to absorbing what you're saying and possibly doing their own research on it.
Exactly.
Good luck finding that tribe. Those of us who look into it, you're alone. And they know we're going to be alone because they've created the divide with the internet, with social media, with music, with everything. Everybody has something that they want to believe in so hard that their brains cannot believe in anything else.
It's called the cognitive dissonance.
Exactly.
It's like, as soon as your belief system is challenged, the trick to that is really sitting with yourself and being like, where do my belief systems come from? Because your moral compass was given to you by somebody. It can be like even the school thing, like your teacher's doing the best she can. Like even conspiracy theorists aren't saying that all teachers or all doctors are bad. They're doing what they were taught. And if they're taught inside of a box, they'll fight for that box. And they'll be like, no, you have to take this medicine. This is the only way you'll get better. They have not taken the time. They don't have the time. They're overloaded with patients. Maybe my belief system is wrong because I was lied to by somebody who was lied to by somebody. We don't know where it stops or starts. It has to be you. You have to be like, wait a minute, what do I actually believe? What is tangible to me?
We need to bring back thinkers. In my whole Instagram page, one thing that I flipped it into was basically a thought school. And there's all these different levels of this thought school. The whole point is for you to fucking think. So I'm not going to explain to you what people are like, what are you doing with your page? What does that mean? What is this? And I'm like,
it's what you think it is.
And right. You're not.
My refrigerator is texting me. Hold on. It's telling me that I need to close the door. There we go. Feature.
So, one of the reasons that I created the thought school idea, which I am a thought school, so this is nothing new. I created this because I was having a conversation with a friend, and one of the things that got brought up was secret societies. I was like, honestly, I think we just need to go back to that because AI is changing information so fast. I think we need to have a way to preserve the information as we know it.
It's so funny because as soon as you told me that, I started getting clips of people saying like to save, information.
We need to. So here's the beautiful thing. Like when we brought up the guy earlier, the Black Panther, Chairman Birdsong, for me, this shit is personal. I love watching it. I was in the movie Black Panther. I was raised by fucking Panthers. You already know how this goes because this was your life too. Yeah, this was more important to me than the average person. The average person is watching him do this like it's a movie.
Right. So and they don't know, they have no idea of the history. They don't know that there were free lunch programs, and it takes one generation to rewrite history.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, you have a bunch of people who pretend that they give a shit about anything, and then you have like you and Numb and every Mystic and everyone around you guys who are going to feed the homeless constantly, who are in your communities, who are writing stories for your community papers, who are creating music that is for the community, who are translating through music and translating through all and of the efforts children, like bringing up the babies, like for real, like we're irritated, but we're still going to bring them up a certain way. We're tired too, but we're still going to homeschool them.
there are these efforts that are being made. When I watch this Black Panther, all I see is everybody I know and that I've been grateful to be surrounded by.
You're not
Everybody
going to
else,
see it anywhere else, though. Like the fact that it's because people are contained within their algorithm,
exactly,
and that's why it's so important to have a show that touches on topics that will break the algorithm. Because it's like, wait, what are they talking about?
This is why we need thought schools. This is why we need the return of societies. Everybody ain't got to be a part of the society. Everybody doesn't want to be a part of the society. Everybody can't be a part of the society. The society exists for the people who already believe in it. It's not something you can go click on. This is for the people who have already imagined the society and they know what it is in their mind. That's why my society has appeared. Right. It's going to appear for the people who need the information. Everybody else is going to fall to the wayside. I do think that we need to start preserving information. I'm telling you, I won't even give it 2 years late. 6 months from now, because we're already being told, like, we're being showed images of Kanye as some black leader.
Mansa Musa, that's just, it's wild. And remember, nobody even knew who Mansa Musa was. I don't know what that's about. That's just some weird shit.
Like
yeah, I hear you.
It's like when they told Isaiah in 6th grade that Rosa Parks was Mexican.
Okay.
They couldn't make her white because that would have been too crazy. So they wanted to make sure she was not black. Right. That was the whole point. As long as she's not black, nobody can celebrate a black woman.
And sidebar to that, the light-skinned woman that they presented to the world was not actually the person that stood for the bus.
It would have been Claudette Colvin.
Right. So yeah, you know.
It is crazy to me because they're going to delete everything that we know. And then how do we even have these podcasts in a year? How do we even speak to people? How do we even gather? How do we create? We can't fellowship. We can't commune if we all don't know shit about one another.
So this is good. That's wonderful advice. I'm with that, and I do it. I will say this though. There's certain programs that you use, which is all under the umbrella of the web. And so those things tend to stop working or whatever. And so I was saving links. And so many of those links are gone now that I'm like, oh my God. Luckily, I had the foresight to download the PDFs. Even that's digital. But right now, before the National Archive gets shut down, before they take down the Internet Archive, you can go and you can download PDFs and stuff from the 1800s, from the 1700s stuff. That is what people should be doing. My digital books it's insane. They can change those eventually. Since I've been doing it for like 15 years, I feel comfortable in some of them. I think you're absolutely on point. Oh my God. The time that it hit me, and this is to your point exactly, is Kalani on her 4 albums ago. She had a song called Niggas. And I was like,
you say no more.
Right. But so 2 years ago, I was like, oh, I want to hear my song. Went into my iTunes to play that song, and it was gone because she had decided that it was in the atmosphere that it was politically incorrect because she was not the color of what we consider niggas or whatever the thing is. She did it. I'm mad at her for that, but the fact is that you took it out of my iTunes, so I no longer in my album that I had saved. You know what I'm saying? They can take anything,
whatever they want.
Yeah,
this is why I'm heavily sticking to this thought school, and I'm just trying to let the people who see it that are curious be like, hey, we're just going to have to gather. We are just going to have to
face to face.
Your children are going to have to start coming to my school. Y'all thought the Imaginarium was about imagining things? No, it was about imagining actual fucking information.
Exactly.
Imagine a world where the information you give your children is actually true. So,
and that's what the government hates, shit like that. That's why every time people come together to do something like that, they bomb people on our own land because they were trying to remove themselves from the society that we have been trapped in. I've asked this question before to people that I consider wiser than me. Can you divorce your government for irreconcilable differences? Because literally, we have irreconcilable differences. We don't care about the same things. We don't have the same goals. It's sovereignty. Yeah, sovereignty. But you see what they did publicly to the ones that were standing their ground. You're right about the secret society thing, because supposedly Masons are sovereign in this realm, which is controlled. When they have the secret handshakes, they take care of their own, which I don't necessarily agree with, because you don't get to say who goes where or what just because you're in a special club. So that's the part that I feel like, because that's what they do with these sororities. It's the same thing. Everything is the exact same structure. That lawyer is a lawyer because she was in a sorority. Some people, we know shit and we didn't go to school and join a club. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's not about hazing people who don't want to be a part of it or don't believe in it.
Yeah.
It's about the preservation of information.
And the
it's
people
about the
that
way
want it
we're going to
preserved.
our seeds moving forward, because we've not done a great job at that. We have handed them over to a school system that at some point we were taught to trust, which we now know better. We do better because we know better.
Exactly.
So for me, it's about, we can forget about every mistake that we made before today. What are we doing to preserve the truth moving forward? The churches ain't going to preserve the truth for us. They've been lying to us about
everything. And it blows my mind always when I see how little, and I'll just say white people in this scenario, how little they know about the history of this country. Like, they really truly believe they are the person they were told they are.
Oh.
Like, and they don't even know that they believe that. They're just like, this is the way that it is. And no, it's not. And so when I saw,
they still can't tell you who the person they think they are is.
They just know it. James Baldwin said it best. I may not know everything about how you feel and what you think, but I do know this, that you would not choose to be Black in this world.
Oh, that's
and then when you know that, that's all you need to know. Those are thinking moments. I'm like, yeah.
Because why wouldn't you? If you guys really believe that Black people have just as many rights as you, and that they're just as safe, why not be Black?
Why? And they can't answer. I've seen a round table with women. They can't never answer.
Proud of what?
Proud of what?
Proud of what? Like, explain that part. When
like, they don't, it's so that's to your point, is they are so undereducated. So now when these conversations happen in these spaces, I'm like, I can't talk to you because it would be such a long road for me to go back. But since we are in the information age, all you have to do is look up, because when people found out about Tulsa, they were like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, you have a long way to go, because there's 200 other towns that they're buried underwater and don't even start on the dams in the 10,000 sundown towns. And then let's start talking about that equality you feel is on a good path, because it wasn't.
I went to an all-white high school. I have friends to this day from that high school that are constantly like, can you explain? I can't explain my Black experience to you.
Right.
It's not my job as your friend to explain what white people did to Black folks, Hispanics. I can't explain to you. And that's not because I'm not your friend. But
care enough to look it up.
I'm just not going to contribute to your privilege. You don't get to have somebody come in and be your educational maid on top of having somebody else be your slave. Like, explain to you why you can't understand your grandma.
Right.
Grandma.
Go ask your grandma, or look inside yourself and figure out your belief system, because something in you believes, that's why you get mad, that you are something that, because you were lifted up onto this ground. Nobody chooses to smoke crack.
That was a great example. Great example.
You don't smoke crack because it was never presented to you as the only option.
Exactly.
Just care enough to look. And a lot of them don't, because it's like, it's right here. This is how everything is, how it's presented to me.
The whole crack thing, they would argue that too. Well, no, we don't smoke crack because you snort cocaine.
Yep, and not only that, you get 100 years less than for carrying the same amount. I love the thought school idea. That's wonderful. That's exactly what I'm talking about from a spiritual standpoint, as far as making the world tilt. We don't have to change the minds of everybody. We don't even have to change the minds of 50% of the people. It literally only has to be like 30% or 20% or something. So find your tribe. Like most people, because a lot of people, you're just singing to the choir. Once you step outside and you start fucking with the algorithm, then that's where we start actually making the world tilt in a harmonious. We want, because otherwise, you know what she's gonna do. She's gonna be like, y'all gotta go. She's done it before. She'll do it again. I feel like there's something different about it this time.
Different about it.
The powers that shouldn't be are going to, I mean, there's some sort of crescendo, like a crescendo. They're like,
I mean, they're falling. It's all falling. The veil is falling now.
My camera doesn't like me. Okay.
And this is why it's so important right now, because just because the veil is falling doesn't mean the veil is going to stay on the floor. They're going to continue to fight for their existence. These elites are fighting to exist in a world where they can remain elite. The only thing that we can do is tire them out with our own intellect, and by moving society over so much this way into the truth, that nothing that they say over here becomes enticing. The internet, the pornography.
That's what I was going to say, is all of those things
the world should no longer be enticing to you if you have a brain or a conscience. You should
we have to leave their systems. We have to leave
and
their
all this shit. Everybody's so fucking dysfunctionally attracted.
Exactly. If we stop coming to the show, they'll have to do something different. They'll have to put on a new show or do something.
They'll have to buy a ticket to our show.
That part, but they will. That's scary too, because that's the thing they do. Then they come inside, they infiltrate. They got all these little agents.
I mean,
that's why full circle back to being true to self and knowing what your belief systems are. Because anybody, like, I look back at my life and I'm like, oh, that person was probably a handler. Like I was always saying the things that you shouldn't say and doing the things that you shouldn't do. The older I get, the more I'm like, I got to go back to that girl because that was right. Like I was never wrong. Coloring outside of the lines is right. I'd love to inspire that as much as possible. And that's why I'm glad we're doing this, because with Aaron, that wasn't going to happen. He'd always try to bring celebrity stories into it. I was like,
I'm not into devil's advocate. Pick a side.
Why the fuck does the devil need an advocate? That's what
I'm exactly. I don't even deal with people that, right? How does the saying go? If you're silent in the face of oppression, you're automatically on the side of the oppressor or whatever. Yeah. Like, if you're neutral, you're on the side of the oppressor.
No, we don't know neutrality in that way.
I don't contain neutrality at all.
This is the girl.
Where?
What a baby. She loves hugs. She's a sweet girl. She's a very sweet girl. Nova. She's not going to look for the camera.
So you have 400 cats now?
500, 600.
Oh, so them is just contributing to this
cats rule the internet, so don't shy away from the face of a kitty.
I just found out that cats were never mentioned in the Bible.
Really?
And then I looked it up and I was like, ooh, that is interesting.
Very interesting.
The feline and the feminine?
Not even a lion or just house cats?
Cats were not mentioned.
Big cats are?
There had to be a lion's den or something.
Yeah, wasn't there a lion and a lamb?
Yes. And it makes sense. It makes so much sense because how are you going to have a god if in other religions a cat was a god?
A cat was a god.
God in the Bible can't have competition.
Right.
So this is why they downgrade women in the Bible and they don't mention the cats and the Apocrypha was taken out. You can't have two gods. And so, yeah, I found that out and I was like,
no male prophets, right? In the Bible, there's none of that, right? No.
Oh,
so have you read?
You're allowed to make a t-shirt that's purple and wear that.
Oh.
If you're in the Bible, you can make a purple robe for someone. And that
oh, that's nice. I'm glad though.
Nothing else.
You can bear children.
You can.
Or your husband.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's convenient. We should talk about the Bible someday. I was never into it, but now I think it's a good gauge of history. If you have a mind, you can see what to keep. Like, what's the analogy? Barbecue, eat the meat and throw away the bones. So I think there's a lot of meat in there. It's worth taking a look at. Also the Torah and the Quran and also the Quran, which I found recently. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
It's the Bible of the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh.
And then, yeah.
I'm going to need that.
Yes, I have that. I have all those PDFs. What do? I got to print them out.
Print them out. The choice was like save your own life or save your materials. And I
did lost a U-Haul truck that had only the stuff that I cherished. It was that important to me. It was journals, pictures, every picture of myself that I had before I had my son, all of that stuff. And I carried that around with me, like the loss, for years. But then I will say that Shock G, one time when he came to our house, he was like, you guys, it's like kind of hoarder, but like not, like he said something and I was like, what? His point is that when he lived here, the Oakland Hills fire, remember that? He lost everything. And he lost, I'm talking about unreleased Tupac records that he did, all of his plaques, so he lost everything. And it took him years, but he realized it's just stuff. We can let some of it go and treat the stuff that we do want to keep and share and pass on as sacred. Because it is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the stuff that I post on my page could never be the stuff that we'd be archiving. No, social media doesn't care enough about that. They don't know what it is that I'm even doing.
But AI will learn soon enough.
My people, you know what I'm saying? And I've had people hit me up like, hey, what is this society you're talking about?
Let me show you this artist. There's something there with music. It's weird because Pig Latin.
Oh, Pig Latin.
It's about communicating with your people. I wanted to look up the origin because I don't believe that when I saw this artist, because she's from down south, very young girl. I think there's something there, and I like the idea of music being involved.
Oh yeah, on that out here Ute eBay alone. Jalarina FAA, they on way Ute break you down. Beat that pig fry, let them pigs fly. Ooh, my wig shot, live by what you live by. Ain't no big shots, pig fry, let them pigs fly. Ooh, my wig shot, live by what you live by. Ain't no big shots. Ooh yeah, on that out here Ute eBay alone. If they on way Ute break you down to bones. Let the truth and lay the truth. eBay your home. Don't believe a lot trying to be nice inside a stove.
That last sentence, okay.
QuikTok. Also on QuikTokShow.com.